Ever feel like no matter how hard you run, the finish line just keeps moving further away? Like there's this invisible bungee cord snapped to your waist, pulling you back to the same bank balance, the same stress, and the same small life. Most people call it bad luck. They'll tell you the economy is rigged, or that you just haven't hustled enough, but they're lying to you. What if I told you that your struggle has nothing to do with your effort, and everything to do with a factory setting pre-installed in your brain before you could even walk? Massive sociological study once tracked 500 families stuck in generational poverty for decades. The researchers didn't look at their bank accounts, they looked at their choices. And what they found is terrifying. They discovered a psychological algorithm, a scarcity virus passed down like a genetic disease. Today, I'm going to rip this script apart and show you exactly how you've been programmed to stay small. This is going to be brutal, it's going to be uncomfortable, and it might make you look at your parents differently. But if you don't stay until the end, you choose the prison. Let's start with the biology of being broke. Most people think poverty is a lack of money, but in the lab, we see it's actually a lack of bandwidth. When you're constantly redlining your brain over rent or grocery prices, your cortisol levels aren't just high, they are toxic. This creates what psychologists call cognitive tunneling. Think of your brain like a high-end laptop. You've got all this potential power, but 95% of your RAM is being eaten up by a survival program running in the background. You simply don't have the processing power left for strategy. You spend 6 hours trying to save $20 on a grocery bill, thinking you're being frugal and smart. But in reality, you just burned $200 worth of mental energy to save $20. That is the biological trap. You are trading your most precious asset for pocket change. The system loves you for this. It keeps you too tired to ever look up and see the exit sign. When your brain is in survival mode, your long-term growth software just won't boot up. You aren't stupid, you're just overloaded. And until you free up that bandwidth, you'll never see the exit. Now, let's talk about the social gravity holding you down. Out of those 500 families in the study, almost 0 individuals managed to break out alone. And the reason isn't lack of opportunity, it's the people sitting at their dinner tables. Your environment is your destiny. Think about the last time you told someone close to you about a big dream. Did they celebrate, or did they say, "Be careful," or "Must be nice to have that kind of time"? This is the crab bucket effect. When one crab tries to climb out, the others yank it back. It's not because they hate you, it's because your growth is a direct threat to their comfort. If you succeed, they lose their excuse for why they stayed small. Your success proves that it was possible all along, and they can't live with that realization, so they infect you with doubt. They mask this sabotage as concern. They tell you they want to keep you safe, but they really want to keep you the same. Breaking out of the factory setting means you have to be okay with being the villain in their story for a while. You have to choose your future over their comfort. Let's address the biggest lie ever sold, the cult of hard work. We are taught that hard work pays off, but if that were true, the hardest working people on the planet, the construction workers in 100-degree heat, would be the richest. They aren't. Hustle is the easiest thing to fake. Most people use physical exhaustion as a drug to numb the pain of a stagnant life. They would rather work 14 hours at a job they hate than spend 1 hour of focused, terrifying silence trying to solve their actual problems. Why? Because manual labor is predictable, thinking is dangerous. Thinking requires you to face your failures. When you're exhausted at the end of a shift, you get a hit of dopamine. You feel like a martyr. You tell yourself, "I did my best," but you didn't. You just traded your life force for a paycheck that barely covers your existence. You're using tactical hustle to hide from strategic cowardice. You're running faster and faster, but you're still on that same treadmill. Until you stop glorifying the grind and start valuing your leverage, you're just a highly efficient engine in someone else's machine. Stop being the fuel. Then there's the armor of the invisible. Have you noticed that the people with the least money often wear the loudest logos? Designer belts, luxury sneakers, the latest iPhone they can't afford. This is a psychological defense mechanism called low-dignity compensation. When society makes you feel invisible, you buy a mask to scream. I am someone. You are literally buying your dignity from the very corporations that profit off your poverty. It's a tax on hope. You spend your seed money on a suit of armor made of plastic and leather. You look rich to other broke people, but to the people who actually own the system, you just look like a customer. They sold you a dream of status, so you'd never have the reality of wealth. Every time you swipe that card for a luxury item, you sign another year of your life away. You're not wearing fashion, you're wearing handcuffs. And the heavier they are, the harder it is to move. To format the hard drive, you have to stop caring about looking wealthy and start caring about being free. You have to be willing to look poor to become truly rich. So how do we delete these factory settings? It starts with the great disconnect. First, you must find your white space. I don't care how busy you are, you need 30 minutes a day to sit in absolute terrifying silence. No phone, no music, no distractions. This is where your strategy program finally gets enough RAM to start up. You need to look at your life as a consultant, not a participant. Ask yourself, if I were a character in a movie and the director wanted me to win, what's the first stupid habit he'd make me cut? Second, you need to start taking asymmetric risks. The poor mind fears all risk, but the rich mind knows that the biggest risk is staying safe. You need to find things where the downside is just a few hours of time, but the upside is a 10x return on your life. Play the game. Third, you must become a ghost to your old circle. You don't have to fight them, you just have to outgrow them. Silence is the best boundary. When you stop responding to the gossip and the complaints, you stop feeding the old algorithm. Disappear into your growth. Being born with these factory settings isn't your fault. The world is designed to keep you in the tunnel. But staying there, that is a choice. You now have the awareness. You've seen the wires in the walls. You can't unsee this. It's time to choose which version of you survives. The researchers saw that the only families who made it out were the ones who intentionally broke their patterns, the ones willing to be called crazy or selfish. If you're ready to start the format process, then it's time to join a different tribe. Your new life starts with one different choice. This isn't just about money, it's about reclaiming your soul from a system that wants you compliant and tired. If you're ready to overwrite the old code and join a community of people who refuse to be standard, hit that subscribe button. Give this a like if you're ready for the glitch. I'm here to help you navigate the game of human theory. Don't let the factory settings win. Stay sharp, stay focused, and I'll see you in the next one, when we dive even deeper into the abyss of the human psyche. The reboot has already begun.